In this video, we're going to be taking a look at what's inside this little gift bag here. Now, Muzen Audio reached out to me and said, hey, we'd like you to check out one of our items. And that's really just a testament to the awesome audience that I have. You guys are awesome, and companies are always trying to get their products in front of your eyes. And I promise I am pretty picky about what types of items and how many items I do receive. But this thing looked pretty cool. I'm excited to test it out. As always, no money has exchanged hands. They did send me this to review, but this review is my opinion, and the company does not get to see this video before it's published. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and check out what's inside this little package here. Hey everybody, it's Chris from Family Geekery. Today we're going to be checking out this Muzen Audio Wild Mini Portable Bluetooth Speaker 2.0. Now I know what you're thinking, everybody's got a million Bluetooth speakers, you've used them before, you've heard them before, so what's so special about this? Well, that's what we're going to find out. This thing has a lot of interesting features and I'm excited to test this thing out. It looks freaking cool, but we need to see what it sounds like. And I'm really interested in finding out what kind of audio comes out of a tiny little thing this size. So let's go ahead and open up this cool little package, this hard little plastic package here, and see what's inside. So let's go ahead and open here. And this company makes a lot of neat items. And this is, like I said, this is so freaking cool looking. Just a tiny little, holy cow, this thing is built like a tank. Just a tiny little speaker. It's got a built-in flashlight. Like I said, it's built like a tank. It's weather resistance, I think it's IPX5, so you can wear this thing outside while you're hiking. They show a guy, hiking with it on his backpack. So we're going to test this thing out, get some music playing in it, but let's go ahead and take a look at all the features first. Alright, so underneath this little insert here was the manual, and then we've got a charging cable, and it's USB-A to USB-C. So I've got another charging cable over here already plugged into it, so you can see it's got charging indicators on it. I'm going to go ahead and charge this thing up a little bit. This port right here is protected underneath this hinged door. The hinged door was a little hard to pry open the first time, but I hope it gets a little bit easier. But this thing, like I said, is built like a tank. It's made out of zinc alloy, so you could drop this thing, it's not going to hurt it at all. We've got a 5-watt speaker in here that uses a rare earth magnet, and supposedly that's what's going to give it awesome sound out of a tiny little speaker. We'll find out. We've got this neat looking knurled knob here is the volume knob. We've got a switch over here to switch it from, off to Bluetooth, and it says press for the flashlight. So I hold that down for a couple seconds. I've got high, low, and then an SOS setting. And then you press and hold that again to get it to turn off. And then this guy here is kind of like a jog dial. It goes back and forth. And I think that's going to be for like track up and track down once you got it connected to an audio player. It's got a little attachment point here for like a little mini carabiner or a strap. Doesn't look like it came with any kind of carabiner of any sort. That would have been kind of cool, but those things you can get them at Harbor Freight for 99 cents, so not a big deal. Or just get you some paracord, make you a nice little attachment point right there for it, and then you can take it down the trail with you hiking. So let me get a tiny bit more charge into this thing, and then I'll get it hooked up to a phone, and we'll test out the speaker. Alright, so I got it charged up, and I played around with it a little bit. So let me talk through what I can tell you about it that I wouldn't have been able to show you just in the video alone, because we're going to play some audio through it here in just a second, but that audio is obviously going Bluetooth from a phone to here. It's coming out here going into a microphone of this camera, and then it's being digitized by YouTube and compressed, and you won't necessarily be able to tell how good it sounds by the time all that's done. So let me just talk you through what I've experienced. So I've sunk it up to my phone. First song I picked was a song that I've heard a million times before, so I know what it sounds like. I've heard it in my car, I've heard it live in concert, I've heard it on a really good stereo system. So I use that as a reference just to listen to it on here. And let me tell you, the first impression of that was pretty darn good. It sounded great coming out of this thing. I couldn't believe the amount of bass that it was getting, even though it's got a tiny little speaker. So first impression was pretty darn good. Next thing I did, I brought it up to where my wife was sitting. I said, hey, go ahead and check this thing out. The first thing she said is, wow, it's heavy. I said, yeah, it's built like a tank. Next thing I said was, pick a song that you'll know what it sounds like, and you'll be able to tell me if it sounds good or bad coming out of this speaker. So she picked a song, I played it, and her face kind of lit up like, hey, that's not supposed to sound that good. So second test was good. Next thing I did is I took this and I brought it far away from her in the next room over, and I turned the volume all the way up just to see how loud it could get. And the reason why I brought it into the next room is it wouldn't be able to be in the same room as you when it's all the way turned up, I promise you that. It is that loud. So turning it all the way up, putting it in the other room, it filled the entire floor with music. Now, I don't suggest you use this to fill an entire floor with music, because the louder I put it, the more, I guess, tinny it sounded. The high frequencies still sounded great, but the low frequencies weren't quite there as much. They were still there, but they weren't there as much. Once you turn it down and get it closer to you, then it had a very full range, a very full frequency response, and that's where it's most impressive. So if you're taking this thing hiking down the trail and you got it attached to your backpack or you're carrying it in your hand or something, you're probably not going to have it as loud as you can. You're going to have it just at a normal volume, and it's going to sound great to you. Once you get to the campsite and you put it at the campfire and you want to just listen to some tunes, turn it up, third of the way in volume, it's still going to sound awesome. So that being said, let's go ahead and get some music playing out of this. And I'm not going to play one of the copyrighted songs. I'm going to use Harris Heller's Stream Beats. So thank you as always to Harris Heller for putting out some awesome music that we can play on YouTube videos without getting copyright stricken. And this is from his album called Electric, and it's a song called Silhouettes in the Fog. So I'm not sure what this sounds like coming through your speakers, coming into your headphones, as it makes it through the internet, through the YouTube compression. But sitting right here in this room, it sounds pretty darn good. So we got some acoustic guitar, we got some drums, we got some lead guitar. Sounds great. Now we got this knob here, which looks like it would be like an antenna connector or something on a military style radio, and that is the volume knob. And it's got detents to it and a little click 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 sound as you're turning it. So I think that's pretty cool. I've used a lot of these connectors on military style radios before, so it's neat that they use that as the volume knob. Let's test out the track knob here. And there it goes, right to the next song, which is called Cafe Corner, still on Stream Beats. Let's see what happens if I push and hold. I was seeing if it would fast forward. Doesn't look like it is. So just a push that way is track forward. A pull back counterclockwise is going to be track backwards. So that's good enough. And pairing was pretty easy. The instruction book left out a couple things, but it was pretty intuitive. For pairing, you just take this knob and you pull it down to the on-off position. And once you do that, this light right here starts flashing at a very low, and you can see actually it's just a tiny little glow right there. Not the full flashlight, but just a tiny little glow. It started flash, 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 and then it just showed up in the phone right away as a wild speaker. And that's the particular model of this speaker, which is the Muzen Wild. A couple other things I forgot to mention. The track forward and track back also acts as a play and pause button. So go ahead and check this out. I'm going to push play. And then I can press it again. And that little beep beep sound you got, that also played through when I connected this to Bluetooth, and it was actually really cool. It played a little like Morse code sound that would be typical of hearing out of an old military radio like this. So that's a really nice touch, that whenever you connect it, disconnect it, play and pause, it plays a neat little tone like that. So pretty cool. Alright, so it sounds great. Let's go ahead and summarize up everything about this thing. And just in case you couldn't get a good feel for how big this was, here's an average thumb drive here. It's about the same height as a thumb drive. So, pretty small, very portable. It's got zinc alloy construction, super strong. It's USB-C rechargeable, built-in battery. It's got a flashlight. It's got crystal clear sound despite its size. And it comes in a couple different colors. So I'll leave a link down below on where you can find out more about this. And we've got a coupon code from Muzen Audio for my audience to get you another 25% off. So I'll go ahead and drop that down in the description below. If you have any problems with that coupon code, just let me know and we'll get it figured out. So thank you again to Muzen Audio for sending this. I really enjoyed testing it out. I think it sounds great. And this thing is definitely going to go down the trails with me on my next hike. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Just drop them down in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer anything I can. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, press that thumbs up button. I appreciate that. Check out the rest of the channel, see other things that I've reviewed, and all kinds of other geeky stuff available on this channel. If you find something you like, go ahead and hit that subscribe button too. But I thank you as always for watching, and until next time, peace out and geek out.